Hey guys, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Today's video is a collab with Debbie over at Debbie's Kitchen. She's hosting a first day of winter collab, and she suggested everybody make a soup or a casserole. So I decided I was going to make for you my cornbread taco casserole, which is a recipe a friend gave me many years ago. She made it and it was so good. I asked for the recipe and I've been making it ever since. So here I have all my ingredients out with the exception of the meat, so I'm going to show you what we need to get started. The recipe calls for 1 cup of cooked rice. I'm just cooking up 1 whole cup. I'll split it up and we'll use that for something else. 1 cup of shredded cheese, any type you want, a Mexican blend or cheddar. I have a whole block of cheddar, and I'm also going to be adding some queso cheese because 1 cup of cheese is not enough for this recipe. So we're piling on the cheese in this one. It also calls for 2 packs of taco seasoning. We like the hot McCormick, so that's what we'll be using today. 2 cans of diced tomatoes. That's like the 14 or 15 ounce can. 4 ounce can of green chilies, and a can of corn. Now you're not gonna drain the chilies, but you will be draining the tomatoes and the corn. 2 8.5 ounce boxes of corn muffin mix. I just have the Jiffy there. And also Fritos. I think the original recipe called for 1 or 2 cups. I really can't remember. I had a bunch of these little snack packs in one of those big mixed boxes I had, so I didn't even have to go out and buy those. I also diced up a small onion, which I'm going to be mixing in with my meat when it's almost brown. And we like it spicy, so we're adding in some diced jalapeno peppers as well. That wasn't in the original recipe. It's just something I've always added because that's what we like. So now we're going to get our rice started so that that's all cooked and ready to go. And then we're going to begin browning our meat. Now, the original recipe did call for 2 pounds of meat, and I think that would work if you had a deeper 9x13 pan. Mine isn't that deep, but I've always continued to make the 2 pounds because what I do then is I freeze the mixture and we eat it on tacos at a later time. So here now I have my rice that's cooked and I put it back in my 1 cup. When I opened this new case of tomatoes, I didn't notice that these diced tomatoes were in puree. And to me, that's not going to work for that recipe. I'm just going to freeze those. And luckily I did have 2 more cans of diced tomatoes that were like in the juice, so I drained those. So that's what we're going to be using for that. I usually add the onion when the meat is almost done browning, just so it can cook a little bit in there and get a little bit softened. You'll see here that I did have quite a bit of grease in this meat. I think I was using 80/20 ground beef this day, so I wanted to drain that. Once that was drained, I was adding my taco seasoning, so 2 packs of taco seasoning and 1 cup of water. You get that all incorporated. At that point, you would start adding your tomatoes and chili and rice, but I always add the jalapenos. So I always put the jalapenos in first once the meat is drained and the taco seasoning is in. I added about 4 teaspoons of that. Then I put in my 2 cans of tomatoes, my 1 can of diced green chilies, and the 1 cup of cooked rice. Once I had all of that in there, I mixed it up really well. I turned my heat on really low and covered it while I got started on my cornbread mixture. Next, you're just going to follow the package directions on your 2 8.5 ounce boxes of corn muffin mix. And for the Jiffy, it's 1 egg and 1/3 cup of milk per box. So here I'm putting in my eggs and I'm going to add my milk. Once I have that mixed up, then I'm going to add in my can of drained corn. And once we have that all mixed together, it's going to be time to put our casserole together. If I didn't mention it before, have your oven preheated to 350, and I'm just spraying my pan and starting to add my cornbread mixture. I like to add a little bit more of the mixture to the bottom than the top. I think it cooks a little bit better that way. And then you're just gonna start layering your meat. Once you have the cornbread mixture all covered with the meat, it's time to add your Fritos. I think I said at the beginning, I don't remember what the recipe called for, how many. I just really like to layer the whole top of the meat with the Fritos. and then do the same thing with the cheese. So this is really to taste. Use as much or as little as you like. So once I have the cheese on there and the Fritos, we're going to add the remaining cornbread mixture, and then we're going to top it with more meat and the rest of the Fritos. This is going to bake uncovered for 50 to 60 minutes. It does usually take 60 minutes in my oven. However, after about 40 to 45 minutes, I usually check it because it's starting to get really brown, and I usually do cover it with foil for about the last 15-20 minutes. But just check it, see how it works in your oven. And that's all you do. So once you have those Fritos on there, you're just going to pop it in your oven, and once it's done, you're going to take it out. You're going to top it with the remaining cheese and continue to cook uncovered until your cheese is melted. So here it is. It was in the oven for the full hour. At 40 minutes, I did check it because I know how my oven cooks this, and the edges were pretty brown, so I did put foil on it for the last 20 minutes. So it took an hour in my oven as I expected. Then I covered it with the rest of my cheddar cheese and my queso cheese. I put it back in, and it only took about 8 minutes to melt. My oven was pretty hot at that point. Here's how it looked when it came out. I let it cool for about 20 minutes. Now I have it out. You can see how the edges are brown. It's pretty cool and set up, so we're going to get ready to cut this. I didn't know the dog was in the room or that my chair was pulled out, but she's ready to climb on the table. So there's Molly. Molly wants some of this too. So let's get this plated up, and I'm going to show you guys how it looks. Here's how mine look plated up. I just added some salsa, some jalapenos. I have some shredded lettuce and sour cream. This is just really one of my favorite casseroles to make. Let me know if you guys give it a try or if you've ever made it before. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here and you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I'd love to have you around. Make sure you go check out Debbie's video. I will have her channel linked down below. Thank you to Debbie for hosting this collab. I hope everyone has a great Christmas. And thanks so much for watching, you guys. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.